I wanted to hop on here today and just talk about some things that I've been learning pretty recently, actually. Um, I've been learning to, I've been learning to not try to prove my value to people. I know my worth, and I have for quite some time, actually, probably increasingly so. I think that's just the way that it works. But I have spent a lot of time in the past trying to maybe stick around in a potential, uh, it could be anything, church fellowship, prospective friendship, or potential, romantic relationship where I'm, especially the marriage, where I'm like hoping and trying to prove what I do or what I can do or my worth, basically. And I'm no longer doing that. I would say for a while, but there have been some things even in the recent like weeks that um, it's coming easier. But I definitely have to make like I still have to make a decision. I still have to consider. But I guess I'm seeing it more now. Like I'm seeing what my patterns have been. Even reaching out, like reaching out to someone more than is healthy. Like I'm not saying that I will never do that. I think it's foolish to say we won't because we very well might, but I'm purposely not going to do that. I'm purposely like, yeah, like it is what it is. And I have never seen myself as a desperate person, but I am certainly not desperate. There will be different people for whatever it could be, friendships, romantic, potential romantic partners, like, kind of being in the, I'm very feminine. So it's like, I feel like I've always been in my feminine energy, at least in major ways, but I also feel like we are supposed to walk in masculine ways as a woman. Like I'm a go-getter, you know, but I am sitting in my feminine energy as far as receiving, which makes me think about sex. And it's like, I don't think it's even supposed to just be receiving. Like you're just whatever, an active participant laying on your back, right? I don't think that. So I think there's supposed to be a balance of feminine and masculine, but I do see, in my past a tendency to like reach out more, even with like a girlfriend or something. If there's a conflict, it's like I'm gonna be the one to, in times past, I'm gonna be the one to like put in more effort to try to reconcile, you know. So these are old patterns that I'm aware of, and I care about relationships greatly, and I have a lot of love to give, etc. But it's like, so there's this thing called quantum leaping that I have really only heard about, and let's just say as a Christian, which I haven't been a Christian for, well, like probably at least 9 months, 9, 10 months now, at least, solidly. But I was always scared of the new age, I'm kind of into the new age. I think there's a lot of truth in the new age. I certainly don't, I'm certainly not into all of it, but this thing called quantum leaping, which is like basically that there's different like time, how do they say it? I'm not even gonna get the wording right. It's starting to rain over here, but I love it. It's just gorgeous rain. If it starts pouring, I'll have to stop. But let's just say in the last few weeks, I've gone up a couple notches. I feel it, and each there's a couple different things which I won't get into what they were, but it's like each time I chose myself over chasing. I chose reminding myself that, like, if this is meant for you, it'll come back. It'll come back around in a way that's very obvious that this is meant for you. I don't need to go proving. I don't need to go chasing. I can just be. I can be me, and that doesn't mean I'm gonna like sit at home and not go out. I'm still gonna go out, and I really have found some nicer places that I had known about to go to karaoke lately, and I'm really enjoying that because that's something I'm passionate about. So I'm meeting other people who have that same passion, which is awesome. And who knows what could happen with when you have passion as your shared thing. Sky's the limit, I feel. But I'm grateful for some ladies I've met, and they've invited me to other things, and I've met other people, and I can just see like a lot of potential, whether it be my dream of being discovered and becoming a professional singer, or whether it would be meeting my future husband. And it's already happening on the level of meeting friends and gaining friends, gaining friendships. So there were some situations where I did it first with one of them, kind of like overreach out to someone, like, I feel like you're kind of losing interest. What's going on? And I think that it's okay to ask, but it's not okay to keep kind of, if you want to say knocking on that door, it's like it's not okay to keep being the one to, knock, knock, knock. here I am. Did you forget about me? I have a lot of value. I have a lot to offer. You know, like I'm not saying that. Just like I just mean more of like more of a subconscious. You know, I'm trying to get someone to see my value, and it's like I did, and I really it brought me down. I was already at a certain level, and I feel like it kind of brought me down temporarily. Brought me down a couple notches, and it's like once I chose to not do that, and I had to cry over the situation a couple of times. You know, like I quantum leaped. Like it's the only way I can put it. Like I'm like soaring. I'm like doing so well, and it's awesome, you know. And it's like the opportunities. So this was going back probably 4 weeks ago. The opportunities even since then. So I had gone out with this person, gone out to a new environment, and I ended up meeting like new people in this environment, and that led to going to another environment, meeting more new people. There's like doors just opening, even though the door initially of the certain person I was going out, you know, trying to have a potential friendship with, that ended up not working out. But it's like it opened up the floodgates of me meeting new people and finding out about it different places, and you know, it's just interesting. And as I let go of that situation, more and more and more opportunities are just presenting themselves, so I can just rest and be me, still go out, still, you know, I'm not talking about twiddling your thumbs and sitting at home, but it's like I'm not going to overexert myself to try to get someone to, like, you know, want to be my friend or spend time with me or whatever it is, you know. And it's like just being in that from an energy aspect of receiving whatever is meant for me is going to come. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying life, and I feel so happy. I feel like this lightness, which I feel like even these couple of situations in the last month and a half, like they kind of brought me down. Like I retracted from where I was. So it's like I not only gained back to, like, let's say I was at like a level 5, maybe they brought me down to a level 3 temporarily, but instead of getting back up to a level 5, let's say I like got up to a level 8, you know. And that's just my best way of trying to put it. But I'm certainly not trying to say that I'm near perfection or anything like that. I'm more just talking like, you know, when you feel like you're, you know, life is good and there's nothing to complain about. Even though I asked you not to come out here right now, and trying to get things done with the kids is really difficult. But I'm just enjoying life, and there's still daily issues, there's still problems. I still have some kids that are really acting out, you know, with trauma related stuff that kind of presents itself like ADHD, like really like kind of crazy outbursts. And there are still things I'm dealing with on a day-to-day that aren't fun and difficult, and you know, I still get kind of stressed sometimes and I need to go on my walk. But like I'm thoroughly enjoying my walk. I'm thoroughly enjoying being outside, even though it's raining right now. I'm just thoroughly enjoying when I go to karaoke. I'm thoroughly enjoying just everything. Just, you know, yeah, just there's just so much joy. It doesn't have to be a big thing. You know, my kids, they bought me a plant. Their dad helped them buy me a plant, which I love plants instead of cut flowers. It's a beautiful morning glory plant, like, yeah, kind of a put together, has a different kind of thing in the middle. But that's what I got for Mother's Day. I didn't go out anywhere like to eat or anything. I have very low expectations. It's been, you know, most of my married life, anniversaries and Mother's Day and things like that were not really acknowledged, or I got like something that was very, I don't know, you know, kitchen oriented or something, which is fine because I love to cook. But I'm just saying there has been a lot of effort, and that's been okay. So I have very low expectations for my younger kids. They don't have a terrible amount of, they don't have a car and they don't have a lot of, you know, ways to do things for me. But I've gotten some beautiful pictures, because I have some artists, some budding artists that are like me. They love to draw and stuff like that. So just enjoying the simple pleasures of life. Just, you know, not taking the small things for granted. And just enjoying, like, it doesn't have to be anything. It doesn't have to be like, oh, you know, I got taken out to this really nice restaurant and, you know, this and this kind of splurging. I do kind of splurge on myself a little. I get me iced coffee regularly, like almost daily, and I also drink coffee at home. But I'll go and I'm like, you know, you're worth the $4. You're good, you know. But I love to shop at thrift stores, so I have some pretty nice looking dresses and stuff that I paid about $4 for. You know, I also like to sew, so I did some sewing this morning, and you know, that's very enjoyable, very rewarding. You know, like you can sit down for whether it's a half an hour, 10 minutes, or an hour and have something to show. Like, you know, I'm just so happy, and I'm able to reflect. I reflect all the time, but I'm able just to reflect, like, you know, the night and day difference from when I decided to get out of the marriage and I just couldn't take it any longer. Like, the transformation that I know I was already very aware has happened. Of course, losing weight and things like that really help you to see, you know, like, wow, I definitely did the right thing. But I just feel like even in the last few weeks with some of these different scenarios, that it's like choosing myself, which doesn't mean I'm being selfish. It means that like I matter too, and my happiness matters. What I think about things matters. How something makes me feel matters just as much. And to me, it needs to matter more how something is making me feel than how it's making another person feel. I'm so full of empathy that I have spent probably most of my life caring more about how something is making someone else feel than how it's making me feel. I'm willing to just, reject my own needs or my own emotions and stuff them, and tell myself that didn't matter. I need to do this for this person and show them, and that's how I have spent so much of my life. And so my point is that this whole like quantum leaping, this whole like kind of rising above and not just getting back to like, okay, yeah, I'm good, but like, no, I'm like really, really good. And like these things, these negative things that could bring me down are actually helping me to soar. It's kind of amazing. And I feel like I've known for a long time that there's no going back to the way that I have been living when I was stuck in this horrible marriage and all of that. But like, I feel like almost like it's not me who's just discovered this key. Like everyone, like there's plenty of people who know about quantum leaping, but I feel like I've unlocked a key in my life personally, like of actually experiencing it. It's like kind of like when the next thing comes that is a challenge, and maybe I'm tempted to like overexert my energy for someone else's good, greater good, more than myself, denying my own needs or something like that. Like instead, I'm going to be able to, I have a couple things now that I can think of and remember and remind myself like, wait, hold on, choose wisely here, because this is going to help you in the long run. And, like I said before, if something is meant for me, then my chair is like slipping back. I hate this chair. If something is meant for me, then it's going to resurface, it's going to come back around. You even hear stories sometimes of like, maybe someone knew someone from 4 years ago and they end up coming back into their lives and they end up like proposing. It's like they've life has been bringing them all the things to see, the person's value, what they potentially threw away. But I think for myself, like, another thing I'm learning is I'm not going to give endless chances to people. It doesn't mean that I don't forgive or that I have a unforgiving spirit, but it's like, especially with romantic partners, like if you ghost me and you don't have even like the respect to say, like, it's okay to say, it's not a good time for me, or I'm dealing with this or that, or let's be friends or whatever. But if you completely ghost me, which is something that has happened to me plenty, if you don't have that respect for me, then don't come around later thinking that you can just sweep it all under the rug. Like, there's going to need to be some serious, like, even with apologies, I don't think I can just move forward with someone. Now, I can't say because it hasn't really presented itself. Go back inside like I asked you now. It doesn't mean that I won't forgive, and who knows what I would potentially do, but I have spent so many years of my life where I always would have received with welcome arms, especially if someone's saying, well, I'm sorry, and so now it's like, yeah, well, you can be sorry and we can be friends, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna just be like, oh, okay, like if I've cried over you dissing me and ghosting me and I have no idea and I'm left in confusion and I don't know what's going on about a situation, then if and when you come back around, I'm gonna say, hey, we can be friends. I'm not gonna be like, oh, like, no, that is gone. I'm not doing that ever again. I want to say knock on wood, but I don't believe in that. But it's like, of course I don't know what I will do, but as far as my intentions, like I have no intentions on going back to any kind of excusing inexcusable behavior. Once again, it doesn't mean that I'm an unforgiving person or have crazy unrealistic expectations. We're all human. We all have bad days. Like, that's not the kind of thing I'm talking about. So I hope I'm making myself clear. But my main point of wanting to get back on is just to say, like, choosing myself and putting myself kind of like for each of us, that the way we feel about something, the way it's like that's the thing. That's what we need to do, and it's not selfish. And this whole thing of like who God is God in each of us? Is he in every living thing, like the way maybe like the Indians, Native Americans would have believed, spirit, like in everything living? I'm not sure what I think. I do believe that there has to be a God of some sort, but if getting closer to God means that we choose ourselves, and I don't know, it's really something I'm contemplating. Who are you, God? You're certainly not the God of the Bible, because the Bible had me putting myself last, and the fruit of that was so awful. So I guess this is what the opposite fruit of choosing myself, choosing how things make me feel. And if it doesn't feel good to me, and if it leaves me confused, working through that, even when I don't have any answers of like from the other person's side, I might not have like what their excuses would be or what the reasoning is, and that's hard, but just working through it anyway, and like getting to the place like accepting and letting go, detaching. And in the end, it's just been like so amazing how much growth I've had even in the last, like I said, 4 weeks. So it's like, well, I'm glad I met that person. I'm glad that happened. And inadvertently, it's opened up doors to find out about new karaoke places and meet new people, and who knows, you know? And so it's amazing to me, and it's encouraging. It's really encouraging. So yeah.